Hi everyone, welcome back to Jito Youth Jaipur presents the Untold Stories. Today we have Ridhima and Ayush, who are the co-founders of Elementary. A great journey of 5 years, and they are now partners in life too. So we would love to have a conversation with them and understand how D2C brands are growing in India and how Elementary is shaping the future of homegrown brands in India. Welcome, Ayush. Welcome, Ridhima.
Thank you, Rana.
Um, Ayush, we have seen your journey, and you come from a business family who has been in exports for a very long time, and you have a great manufacturing setup. So, coming from that background and now transitioning to Elementary, which is purely a D2C play, it requires a great mindset shift,
Yeah.
right? How has that journey been for you? How tolling was it for you? And what were the key challenges which you faced when this transition period was going on for you?
Uh, Thank you, Ronak. Thank you for that question. I'd actually like to divide this question into two parts.
Okay.
A, how the idea of elementary came into conceptualization, and B, what are the challenges that we faced from being a B2B manufacturing to getting into a D2C brand here in India. So essentially, first of all, I'd like to tell everyone that Elementary is a home and a gifting brand imbibed with culture, with a core promise to make your everyday beautiful. We deal in multiple categories like kitchenware, serveware, dinnerware, accent furniture, gifting, etc. So, Ronak, essentially, my father, our family background has been into white labeling and manufacturing of handcrafted products since last 35 years. So I've grown up seeing the magnum opus of Indian culture and its crafts. Since last 35 years, we have been white labeling and manufacturing for globally renowned brands like Zara Home, Ralph Lauren Home, H&M Home, Pottery Barn, Crate and Barrel.
Okay.
So I'm a data analyst. I went to London for my undergrad, went to UCL, and then LSE for my postgrad. There I was studying the different nuances of data analysis, wherein one day it struck me that all these products that we have been white labeling and exporting for the international crowd, why don't we start selling them here in India? And that's when I realized that India is a true Sone ki chidiya if we are able to tap it correctly. That's where I saw the potential which was untapped right now of having an affordable luxury home and gifting brand here in India. That's how this brand was conceptualized. And since we are one of the largest exporters here in India, and we are the largest conglomerate in terms of number of materials, we do products made out of paper mache, wood, terracotta, ceramic, glass, marble, galvanized iron. Tab I felt that there is a story here, and we said, let's do it. Let's create a brand because the niche is there, the vacancy is there. That's how the seed was sown for Elementary, and it was conceptualized as a brand. Now, coming to the second part of your question, which is basically what were the challenges that we faced while ideating whether we want to go for a D2C brand or not. I think one of the major challenges was that all of this while we were making for retailers who did their data analysis, who did their research, who did their surveys, and how they need to accommodate a customer's preferences, what their customer wants, what price
Okay.
points, what materials. So we were basically B2B to C. We
Got it.
were making a number of products for Target, for Zara Home, for H&M Home. So सारा एनालिसिस वो लोग करते थे एंड सब रिक्वायरमेंट्स हमारे साथ पास करते थे.
Right.
बट नाउ इफ यू आर क्रिएटिंग योर ओन D2C ब्रांड,
Hmm.
अब सारा रिसर्च हमें खुद को करना था
Right.
कि क्या कस्टमर प्रेफरेंसेस है, उनका क्या प्राइस पॉइंट है, क्या स्वीट स्पॉट है. सो
I
ये
mean,
जो शिफ्ट होता है फ्रॉम बीइंग अ B2B प्लेयर टू अ B2C प्लेयर, आई थिंक जब आप कस्टमर तक खुद जा रहे हो and creating a brand here in India, I think every region has their own preferences. आप चेन्नई में जो प्रोडक्ट्स बेच रहे हो शायद वो दिल्ली में इतना अच्छा ना करें, जो दिल्ली में आप सेल कर रहे हो शायद महाराष्ट्र में अलग प्रेफरेंसेस होगी. So understanding the customer directly was one of the major mind shifts that we had to do. We had to be equipped for it. Secondly, क्या होता है रौनक भाई, in B2C the customer is very sensitive. उनकी expectations बहुत ज़्यादा होती है in terms of delivery, in terms of unpackaging of a box, in terms of freshness in the category, how often we are getting new designs. So I think keeping all this in mind initially, we felt was something which gave us a good um this
Starting
thing.
point.
And but then yes, dhire dhire we tried to crack it, and that's what we tried to do day in and day out.
I think from what you said, the interesting part is you have a brand name Elementary, which from a layman point of view or someone who's out of the brand, I perceive is from a different perspective. So what is your thought when you came up with the brand name Elementary? What is the story behind Elementary word in itself?
So I'll answer to that.
Yeah.
See, basically, one of the main research points that we had was that people in India now are getting pretty much exposed to a global lifestyle. They're able to understand what a good product is, what's something that I would like to invest in.
Okay.
But also there was a huge mindset about that one would not use those products in their everyday life. They would always save their good cutlery for the guests to use
Right.
it. They would take out the good glasses only if the
Guests are coming.
guests are here.
True.
And we realized that having a good product for yourself, using a nicely made, aesthetically pleasing product for yourself is a basic requirement.
It's elementary in nature.
It's elementary in nature. So you answered my question how we named our brand.
Okay.
But having your nice tea time in a good mug, it's a basic of your life to give these little joys in your everyday life to
Correct.
make your everyday beautiful. And another element to the brand name and the logo is that ampersand, the E that we have.
Correct.
So it's actually, we also use it as and. So it's beauty and utility, form and function. So
Nice.
that's the story play of the brand.
Interesting.
So one thing I'd like to add here is, मतलब ऐसा होता है ना कि लाइफ में जब भी लोग पैसे कमाते हैं, दिस द फर्स्ट बेसिक थिंग दैट दे से कि हमें खुद का घर बनाना है, हमें खुद का घर को सजाना है. सो वी फेल्ट फॉर इंडियन consumerism, I feel this was the ethos of what they do once they start earning in life. So we said this is very elementary. Again, the first very basic thing that they do is to
So starting building on top of what you said, Elementary also, from my understanding, talks about the nature and the materials used across the brand. Right? We have seen Elementary as one of the most sustainable brands using elements or say materials which are sustainable. So does it also have a play around the sustainable aspect of the entire brand concept, the materials used, and if you could tell us what are the different materials used, how are you innovating on the material side at Elementary?
See, I think first I want to talk about the word sustainable. Now, sustainable, of course, is ethically sourcing your resources, your materials, paying the right wages for your artisans. That's, of course, one part of sustainability. But the bigger picture is the good quality. Because a good quality product will stay with you for a very long time. Now, if you're not disposing fast, you're doing your bit to sustainability. So one part is that, and of course the material bit is where we have an in-house design team. We are a design-led brand, and we are constantly researching and ideating about how we can use a completely biodegradable product. So I'll give you one example. So paper mache, which is old newspapers and natural glue.
Correct.
But we have made our own new clay out of it, which we call EcoMix, and we also use waste from other factories like sawdust, marble dust, and of
Okay.
course other secret materials which we make a clay out of. And in fact, a lot of products that we are surrounded by right now are eco-mix products which are 100% sustainable and biodegradable.
So, for example, Ronak bhai, this is made out of paper mache or eco-mix, as we say. So, this is actually made out of Raddi newspapers, and this
Doesn't
is how
look
it doesn't look like. Even if you touch and feel it,
Mhm.
I think this is very sturdy. Even this is made out of paper mache. And I'd like to show you a lot of other materials that we play into.
Right.
So, one of the key things is that we are into bulk gifting. We cater to festive gifting. We
Right,
cater to
right.
corporate gifting. That's why Elementary, I said it's a home and a gifting brand, because we realized that people have moved on from just gifting the basic things
Correct.
like sweets, chocolates, flowers, even during festive seasons. So we said we'll create products which are driven by form and functionality.
Okay.
Every elementary product needs to be aesthetically pleasing, but at the same time it needs to be functional too. For
Right.
example, this product, this is one of our best sellers. This is a storage jar, plus it becomes a tray also. So आपका storage भी है इसमें, tray भी है. For example, if you have friends over,
Right. You can just
just
put it in.
put it in
Right,
and
right,
pass it
right.
around. So this is the superb Diwali gifting product or a festive gifting product.
Got it.
Now, another material is terracotta. This is basically जो अपने घर पे मिट्टी का घड़ा होता है ना, it is the same घड़ा just designed into a modern shape with the same utility.
Okay.
And this again was very well accepted by everyone in the Indian market, and we have now started selling it internationally as well.
I'll change a conversation topic here and
Okay.
pick up the word sustainable, right? There are a lot of brands, like a zillion brands, they claim themselves to be sustainable.
Yeah.
Either sourcing or talking about it or the material in itself is sustainable, right? But when we talk from the consumer side, is consumer actually ready for a sustainable brand? When you as a brand say that we are sustainable, I understand sustainability comes with a price tag,
Yeah.
which is not cheap,
Yeah.
right? Is Indian consumer ready for that sustainable product? Are they having that conscious decision? Or is Indian consumer still very price sensitive and does not worry about if the brand is sustainable or not?
See, it's been 5 years for us. This journey has been for 5 years now. And the kind of storytelling that we have built up, which is absolutely very necessary for a brand like ours, who is much beyond just product. It's an entire lifestyle, entire setup of what we are actually doing with our product. It's about the artisans who are hand making. It's about the culture that we are getting into the product that tells the story. It's the materials that we are rightly sourcing, and it's also the kind of effective firing that we are doing to our terracotta for it to be absolutely top-notch quality. So
Right.
it's very important to educate the customer about what goes into the product. Now, of course, in the first year of the brand, people did take a little bit of time to understand, what is it all about? Am I ready to pay that much for a product? But as I said, India, people are now getting really well exposed. They are very, traveling. They are globally very relevant. They know what's happening around the world.
Correct.
So I think they are all. It's almost like not spending. It's about investing. So they are now ready to invest in the right products. And also, I feel like post COVID, one has realized the importance of good health. So they are ready to invest the right money right into the right product for their health, for their homes.
So I think I'll ask the same question to Ayush also because he's a data guy. And what you're telling me is a very marketing and the story side, which I absolutely agree with you. But does that really translate in numbers? Is the brand which we are building, the products which are being sold,
Yeah.
are coming from a sustainable point of view?
Yeah.
Or the Indian customers, they feel value for money irrespective whether it's sustainable or not?
So, first of all, I would like to say that affordable luxury is one of the most growing segments in India.
I'll take a pause here. Can you
Okay.
just help us understand what is affordable luxury?
Okay.
Because these two, as a layman, these are very two different concepts.
Okay.
Luxury is luxury and affordable is affordable,
Okay.
right? When you put them together,
Yeah.
maybe we are sitting with a brand like Elementary, which
Yeah.
is affordable luxury.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
help us break that also.
So, affordable luxury, in simple terms, is basically getting access to premium products at an affordable pricing. As in,
Okay.
people want to get access to good utility premium products, but we are able to provide them at affordable prices.
So doesn't it always, it is generally, doesn't it generally said that luxury comes with a price tag?
Yeah.
Then how do you achieve that top-notch quality at that affordable price? Like, what is the secret sauce here?
So I tell you,
The
one of
secret
the
sauce
one of
is
the
manufacturing yourself. I think
Okay.
we're able to cut down on a lot of in-between costs because
Yeah.
of being the core manufacturer here.
Okay.
So
and one of the major things here is for such products, RTG, the people who buy elementary products or similar products in this niche, they buy into the story. Of course, your product has to be top notch. Of course, the quality has to be top notch. The packaging, the experience, everything has to be top notch.
Correct.
But they also buy into the story, like which are the artisans who have made it, how many artisans have we supported by actually buying this product. I'd like to deviate a bit. For example, this material, paper mache. In Rajasthan, there were 25 to 26 families who were creating this material. But because of Elementary, we have been able to provide them a substantial livelihood. Wherein now, the younger generations are also saying that we will get into the same craft. So, A, sustainability of the product is there, but sustainability of the families who are actually producing paper mache is
Right.
there.
That
I
cause is
feel
there.
the cause is there. I feel we are doing a bit to help the cultural revival, to help
Nice.
such dying crafts to come up again onto the map of Rajasthan, wherein they were doing this aggressively earlier, but now things are fading. So I think that's there. But yes, again, coming back to the data thing, I think yes, if you see Google Trends, if you see the numbers, I can very assertively say that yes, people want to buy that price point. There are certain brands which are ultra niche, which cater to 0.45% of the Indian audience of 120 billion people here in India. There are certain brands which are massive brands,
Right.
but then we want to be somewhere in the middle,
Okay.
and that's where we position ourselves as affordable luxury.
So when building such a brand,
Yeah.
especially in the affordable luxury,
Yeah.
this segment is हरदम कुछ नया चाहिए,
Yes.
right? They do not want ये एक piece अगर पिछले साल आया I do not want this at home,
Yeah.
right? So that creation from the ideation stage, when a design is conceptualized, a product is conceptualized, or maybe a new material is
Yeah.
made,
Yeah.
from that to manufacturing is a time-taking process.
Yeah.
So how do you take that challenge on at Elementary, staying relevant in the market,
Yeah.
bringing out new products for the brand?
Yeah.
What is your process and how do you do it?
Okay. So I'd like to. So what happens is actually Elementary is the first Indian brand in this niche of home lifestyle and gifting, which directly comes from a manufacturer to the customer.
Correct.
Now, what I mean by that is, being a manufacturer, we design ourselves,
Okay.
we produce ourselves, we do the quality control ourselves, and we bring it to the market ourselves. So, this gives us a real edge. Why it gives us a real edge is because all the other players in this niche, they need at least 160 days from the product ideation to the execution till the stores. But since we are the manufacturers, our cycle is just 60 to 90 days.
Oh, that's
So we are able to, cut short that time period by a substantial difference. And होता क्या है, जैसे जैसे आपका स्केल बढ़ता रहता है ना, in this niche, freshness is very important.
Right.
Since we are manufacturers, we have got a design team of 60 designers, which includes Americans, Filipinos, Dutch, and even Indian designers. We are able to bring in 60 new designs every second month.
sounds like fast fashion.
Sounds like fast fashion,
Maybe
absolutely.
it says Zara of homegrown brands.
Absolutely. I would say, since you have mentioned Zara, I would say we are Zara in this niche here in India. क्योंकि हम vertically integrated है.
Okay.
हम खुद डिजाइन करते हैं, खुद मैन्युफैक्चर करते हैं, खुद मार्केट में लाते हैं. and that is the reason why a lot of bigger players here in India are eyeing Elementary, क्योंकि they see कि backward integrated है, ये हमारा USP है. और मैं आपको और चीज़ें बताऊं about this USP. For a ceramic product, for example this product, for other brands उनका MOQ होता है 5,000 to 8,000 pieces, and they depend on third party manufacturers like my father. But for us, the MOQ of this particular mug would be 800 to 900 pieces. तो हमारा dead inventory नहीं होता है, तो हमें फिर discounting नहीं करना पड़ता है, हमें liquidate नहीं करना पड़ता है.
Hence, you can maintain that quality,
Exactly.
bringing out new designs at a
With
price point which
freshness,
is affordable.
Yeah.
with freshness,
Right.
at a pace which is very serious, and
Also-
that gives us an edge.
Also, where there is no compromise from the requirement of the production, capacity, or the artisan livelihood. Like, we know that we have to engage them for a month for making the ceramic mugs.
Correct.
So hence we know that okay, they'll be able to produce 500, and after that their next project is lined up. So we know
Correct.
okay, we have to sell these 500 in the stores, and then after that now we have space to get another new mug.
Another,
So
correct.
it's getting freshness, but also with new designs, and also not compromising on the health of the production.
Correct. So when you were having this conversation, you brought in word around storytelling, right? You have very heavily focused on storytelling about artisans you support, about the sustainable aspects of the materials of it. So how do you ensure what story you are thinking at a brand level is communicated to your audience also? Because storytelling is all about communication and reaching to the right people in the right tone. So how do you ensure that it is achieved at a brand level which is present online as well as offline? So having that common experience, like same experience in both the channels, how do you achieve that at a company level?
So you know how we plan the entire product strategy for the brand with trend analysis, the product ideation, research. We do the same thing for our content building plan. So there is a campaign building, then we decide the mediums that we have to focus on, the way that we have to market that particular product. Now, for an example, during COVID, we designed a particular product. So it's a fusion of a mortar and pestle and a silpatta. So it's basically to grind your spices, and that was the original way of grinding your masalas and your herbs and
Right.
stuff.
How it was
So-
done in the older times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what Mixi does to it is that because of the heat, it kills the nutrients.
Okay.
So, as basic as making an immunity tea and sharing a recipe about it and how it's made on a silpatta. So we just did like a very nice, clean video about it, and we posted it on all our channels. So one, of course, it was a topical content, but it's also something which one can really relate to, and that's what the nature of our content is. It's very relatable, it's real, and that product actually sold out in 1 hour.
Wow.
So that's the strength of the right content that you design, the right storytelling that you do at the right time.
So when you say content, I think the first word which pops in my head is content creator, right? A lot of buzz is happening around content creation. There are a lot of influencers coming into the picture. So how has Elementary perceived? I understand that you have very heavily focused on content creation, but how much allocation is towards a content creator or influencer in a brand like Elementary?
So before we answer this question, actually, I'd like to go back to the last question and show you another example which Ridhima did. Actually, जो standard coffee mug का size होता है, that is the standard mug.
Okay.
And we realized कि mug का जो भी standard size हो, लोग actually चाय और coffee इतना ही पीते हैं. So we actually marketed it by saying थोड़ी सी चाय, and we created a utility product wherein ये coaster कम lid बन जाता है, and then we said that this is a gifting product, and this also sold incredibly for us. Again, the power of content comes in here. We actually used hashtags like थोड़ी सी चाय, and we made videos and we made reels wherein we are talking to the customers, or wherein we are explaining this to the customer. एंड हमने रियलाइज किया, मतलब हम देखते थे बचपन से कि मम्मी और दादी और सब चाय इतना ही पीते
इतना ही
हैं,
पीते हैं।
उनको कितना भी हम mug
Like how
को
cutting
भर के दे
works.
देंगे, how cutting works exactly.
Right.
So this is the power of content. When you relate it to the real life, this thing, I think
Right.
that's where it
That's
works.
where the core idea for what to design comes from.
Yeah.
Right.
Observing a regular Indian lifestyle and an Indian household, you realize what can be designed and how do we improvise it.
Right. Not just from the content point of view, from a, I think, product point of view.
Absolutely.
That gives a very real life example or real life thought
Yeah.
as to what
Absolutely.
can be functional and what can be made. I think that's a great thought for a
Yeah.
building a product, right? But I think there is another thought to it. Whatever we think and design cannot be sold. That is my understanding, right? I can design a very nice product, very aesthetic product, but if it's not selling, then it is from a consumer point of view, I would want it, but from a brand point of view, a product or a category needs to be sustainable. So I believe you come from a design background, you come from a data background.
Yeah.
There are very high chances where this decision making of a particular product could be challenging. So at a brand level, how do you take that decision? Which product actually goes in the market and which product is actually just shelved or showcased at the brand level?
So I think in elementary, data and tech are the genesis of everything. I think first of all, we research what are the top keywords that are trending here in India in terms of Google or Amazon searches, because Amazon has become now synonym
Right.
to Google. People go on Amazon and search whenever they're searching online. So, which are the best categories that are working there? For example, day before yesterday, we were talking about bowls. That we realized that in India, the maximum searches happen for soup bowls.
Okay.
And then we realized that probably this is the size of the soup bowl. So what we do is we do an in-depth data research, which are the best categories at what price points, which material. Then we pass on this intel to the designing team. That these are the categories that we need to work on because they are the hot sellers in India. जब plates भी आता है तो वो 6-inch plates है या 8-inch plates है या 10-inch plates है. Pass it on to the design team and then design team takes it forward.
You know, the reality of the matter is that when we are doing the sampling round, this is where imagine a table full of 100, 200 products for the season, and we have to say bye to at least 50% of
Oh,
them
wow.
because of cost. So of
Right.
course, it's a hard call. You have to, you know, just not get so attached and connected to the product, but
Correct.
you have to be practical about it. So of course, initially we did, you know, had those heated discussions where I was like, we have to get it, but he's like, you know, cost is not viable. and things
Ultimately,
like
if
that.
it wouldn't sell, then it will not make sense.
Yeah, I mean that's the crux.
I'll catch you at heated arguments there. Considering you are co-founders at company and partners also, how those heated arguments are handled at a company level, because that can impact both of your lives at a company because you're co-founders,
Yeah.
and at home also. So how do you juggle between the two roles which you are into
See,
when such a moment arises?
Our office ends at 8 p.m. So
Okay.
after 8 p.m. we are at home. We are very cordial. We are with the family. So
Okay.
after 8 p.m. it's a hard stop. But before that, I think we've grown together in terms of work environment and life environment balance.
Okay.
I'm sure initial 1-2 years were a little tough, but because you know he's into the business part and I'm into the creative side, the good thing is we don't cross paths in the office too often. So
Except
but-
on the sampling table.
but happens. मतलब अब तो it's been a journey. मतलब in school she was the girl captain, I was the boy captain.
Oh, wow.
So I know which
Since
are
then there has been some competition from school.
and so I exactly know that these are the areas that I should not touch, and these are the areas where I can probably convince her
Convince
कि
her.
ऐसा होना चाहिए. But initially होता है कि wherein we don't agree to certain things, but then we always went to my father कि अब आप बताओ कि क्या solution है. So he taught us one thing कि whenever ऐसा होगा, and you should always play devil's advocate when she is wanting something and probably my team wants another thing or I am wanting another thing.
Yeah.
हम हमेशा pros and cons देखते हैं, and that's what been taught to us कि इसके repercussions क्या होंगे या ये करने से उसका next step क्या होएगा. pros and cons देखते हैं, फिर finally we try to come to a mutual
That sounds
solution.
like a very data guy speaking.
But the crux of the matter is you have to be practical about
True.
it. So the bottom line is we do end up being practical. We weigh the pros and cons.
And मुझे पता नहीं इसका क्या सही आंसर है, but ठीक है, चल रहा है.
That is good. So, when you said around the competition side of it,
Yeah.
so that is just an inward competition that is, I think, very solvable. But let's come to reality. There are a lot of brands in India now who are
Yeah.
probably coming in the same space, probably
Yeah.
copying Elementary, or maybe they're in a different segment, but in a similar space, there are a lot of brands now. Right? There is a big competition. There are almost on a monthly basis, new brands are coming up, popping here and there, like mushrooms in across India or abroad
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
In that space, which is very massy, how do you ensure that there is a differentiation, not just from a product level, but at the brand level also? How do you maintain that freshness at the brand level?
See, there are two things that I would like to say here. One is that if somebody or someone copies, we're really not bothered about it because always set the trend, don't follow. So by the time one follows it, we set another one. That's the first part of it. And the second thing is that of course there are a lot of brands. People build a lot of brands, but since it's been 5.5 years, I feel like maintaining the brand is the real challenge. You put
Right.
all your hard work for 1 year, 2 years, but the moment you hit like a 4 in a 5 year timeline into the brand is when you realize the real push starts from here. Hence, I would again, ponder upon the thought that the USP is freshness. The
Yeah.
USP is be trend forward, um, be the problem solver, design correctly, and always bring freshness. So that's how we have to keep on balancing being with the brands who are in the similar category.
So I'd like to add something to what Ridhima has said. I think brand building is something which requires an obsession. मतलब I've seen this personally, and no doubt कि आजकल D2C brands की valuations ऐसे होती है, and why they are priced at such an exorbitant because I have seen running a good brand requires an amalgamation or a combination of multiple factors coming together,
Right.
whether it's in terms of supply chain, having the stores at the right location, having the product categories at the right price point, having your sales team, finance team, website team running after what they have to achieve. There are a lot of factors: packaging, your experience, how you're talking to the customer on the social media, how your customer relationship team is handling the different types of inquiries, आपका warehouse कितना जल्दी orders को dispatch कर पा रहा है and क्या experience दे पा रहा है, finances. So there's a lot which is happening behind the scene which needs to be absolutely on point in order to run a massive omni-channel setup.
What you're saying, so I'll probably divide this into two parts here. One is this entire process
Yeah.
is time taking and exhausting.
Yeah.
It could exhaust biggest of the brands, right?
Yeah.
When you're
Yeah.
running such a big function,
Yeah.
design house, manufacturing house, retails,
Yeah.
omni channels,
Yeah.
D2Cs,
Yeah.
websites.
Yeah.
It can exhaust any
Yeah.
brand or a founder,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How do you ensure that that point of breaking does not happen at a company level? What do you do that you yourself as a founder and your team does not reach that breaking point?
See, I feel, and this is one of the advices which I would love to give to the people who are listening to this podcast, is that you need to have a very driven team in place. I think in elementary now we have managed to get people who are way smarter than both of us, who are way much more experienced than us. For example, my chief operations officer, मेरी उम्र है 29 ईयर्स, उनके पास एक्सपीरियंस है 29 ईयर्स का.
Right.
मैं लोगों का इंटरव्यू लेता हूँ, उन्होंने मेरा इंटरव्यू लिया. कि मेरा क्या विजन है, मैं कहाँ तक देख रहा हूँ कि एलिमेंट्री को हम स्केल कर सकते हैं. बट माई पॉइंट बीइंग रौनक भाई, यू हैव टू हैव team members like that in your team in order to ensure कि जो आप चीज़ें सोच रहे हो, because माई रिटेल हेड, उन्होंने शायद अपने जीवन में 500 स्टोर्स खोले हैं और शायद 400 स्टोर्स को बंद किया है. तो उनको सारे नुआंसेस पता है कि क्या राइट लोकेशन होनी चाहिए, क्या रेंट टू सेल्स का रेशो होना चाहिए,
Correct.
इन टर्म्स ऑफ कैटेगरीज आपको डीप खेलना है या वाइड खेलना है. आप जब कोई स्टोर लोकेशन को फाइनलाइज करते हो, आपका फ्रंटेज कितना है, आपका रेंट अग्रीमेंट लॉक इन पीरियड कितना है, बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती है. बट
Correct.
to not get exhausted or not to not get there are days when you feel कि यार क्यों चीज़ें मूव नहीं कर रही है, but then there are days when you feel कि यार बहुत ज़्यादा मज़ा आ रहा है,
Right.
बहुत ज़्यादा encouragement मिल रहा है. But you have to be at it day in day out, day in day out. इसलिए मैंने थोड़ी देर पहले कहा था ना that brand building for me is like an obsession.
Correct. You have to be
We are-
obsessed to get out of the
हम
bed every
हमारे
day.
हम हमारे वेबसाइट को रात को 11:30 बजे भी देख रहे होते हैं, सुबह 5 बजे उठ के वेबसाइट पे कुछ लाइव भी कर रहे होते हैं क्योंकि तब ट्रैफिक सबसे कम होता है. हम हमारे जी के स्टोर की लड़ाइयाँ लड़ रहे होते हैं क्योंकि पूरा मार्केट बंद हो गया होता है क्योंकि some strike is going on in Delhi market, and Delhi being one of the most highly paid rentals there.
Correct.
So maintenance is the key here. You know, you start a brand, you launch it, you do all beautiful colors and branding and stuff, but to run the brand is a task in itself. And at least what works for me when exhaustion hits is that I go to one of my stores and I just sit and observe and I do
Right.
nothing and I talk to the customers who come in because customer is God. So the moment you listen to them, it's almost like, you know, completely new thing that you're thinking. It's almost like, you know, sometimes you're thinking some story and what you talk to them is something else.
Something else.
So I mean,
So the ground reality could
the
be very
ground
different.
reality is, and honestly, when you were talking about influencing, I truly believe, and what I really want for elementary is that nothing works better than word of mouth. So the ones who buy from us are our true influencers.
They're
They
your
are our
ambassadors.
micro or macro influencers, but they are our true influencers. The moment they take it, they have a good experience, and when they talk about the brand, is the true influencing. So
Yeah.
that's what we follow.
That's how originally it all started. That
Yeah,
is was
absolutely.
that was the original influencing
And-
where I would suggest a product which I have used to certain people in my network, and then eventually it got commercialized. But that was the true essence.
But I think, Ronak bhai, having a good team should be your priority one. चाहे आपको थोड़ा spend भी ज़्यादा करना पड़े, but you should have a team. Your level 2 team should be such कि जैसे मैं और रिद्धिमा, if we are traveling for a month, we are going on a holiday, my team is able to run the show. And if जो ये day to day tasks होते हैं ना, वो अगर आपकी level 2 team संभाल लेती है, then we are able to focus on what next. कि अब हमारा इंडियन मार्केट में एस्टैब्लिश हो रहे हैं, नाउ वी शुड मूव टू द सऊदी मार्केट.
Correct.
अब हमें टर्की जाना है, अब हमें दुबई जाना है, तो वो सब सोचने के लिए यू नीड दैट बैंडविड्थ, एंड वो तभी आएगी जब आपकी टीम डे टू डे ऑपरेशंस को हैंडल कर रही है.
I'll ask one of, I think, which is now very relevant in the Indian context. Pre-COVID was the era where everyone or every brand was majorly retail. There was majorly offline things happening.
Yeah.
During COVID or say 2021, 22 was the time where everything became online. Everyone was shopping online. Now things are very much moving towards omni-channel. How you mentioned that you have a store also, you have to take care of the frontage and sales and rent, and also you have your online presence.
Yeah, yeah.
How relevant is it for a small brand? I'm asking from a small founder who's just starting.
Yeah.
How important is it for them to have an omni-channel presence? Can they just start D2C online, or can they just start offline, or they should have a vision to keep it omni-channel at some point of time?
So, I'd like to talk about my journey. We are, of course, an omni-channel brand wherein we have got 18 stores across India. We have got stores in Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Calcutta, Nagpur, Jaipur, Delhi, Gurgaon. But we are there on all the marketplaces. We have our own D2C website. We are there on quick commerce. On all the 3 quick commerce, we are there. I feel why it is important to be omni-channel is because of the brand recall. I think अब कस्टमर के जहन में एक established brand अगर आपको बनना है, you will have to have an omni channel presence. जहाँ कस्टमर फिजिकल स्टोर्स पे भी टच एंड फील कर पा रहा है, वो एक बार आके आपके स्टोर पे प्रोडक्ट को टच एंड फील कर लेगा. स्पेशली इन आवर कैटेगरी, आप प्रोडक्ट इज वेरी हैवी ऑन टच एंड फील एस्पेक्ट. वो एक बार आके टच एंड फील कर लेंगे, सेकंड टाइम वो शायद ऑनलाइन कन्वर्ट हो जाते हैं.
Got it.
तो इवन इफ आवर स्टोर्स, आई डोंट थिंक वी नीड 100 स्टोर्स इन इंडिया, बट वी नीड स्टोर्स इन इंडिया, एंड दैट वाज द विजन ऑन डे वन आल्सो, कि एक बार कस्टमर मेरा क्वालिटी देख लेगा. क्योंकि माय आर टारगेट ग्रुप इज 75% women, एंड women want to see यार ये मग अगर मेरे होम हेल्थ ने नीचे गिरा दिया है, टूट तो नहीं जाएगा ना, ये कितना भारी है, क्लीन हो पाएगा नहीं हो पाएगा.
Correct.
सो सारे उन आंसर्स के लिए यू नीड फिजिकल स्टोर्स. वंस दे आर कन्विंस्ड ऑफ द क्वालिटी, देन दे आर एबल टू बाय ऑनलाइन. प्लस एक और चीज मैं आपको बोलूंगा, when it comes to valuations, retail stores get a brownie point. So
Right.
it's
I think
very
from a
important.
startup
So
founder point of view who's
Yeah.
raising, I think that adds there. Cool. I think I'll just ask quick questions around the brand and your personal journey.
Yeah.
Of so many products we are surrounded with,
Yeah.
what is your favorite product? And same question goes for you. What is your favorite product or material? If you have to,
So my favorite product has to be this.
okay.
And मैं शायद ये कुछ one of the few products है जो मैं personally मेरे घर पे use करता हूँ. Because I'm so fond of it, and because Diwali पे it was a Rockstar, and it is extremely functional. So I say my personal product
that
is
sells the best is his favorite.
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. But yes, this has done really well.
And what's your favorite product?
I think it's very difficult to pick one, but
Especially someone who has designed all of them,
yeah,
it becomes
so
even tougher.
I think my products will feel bad if I pick one. So I think it's always very interesting. Season on season, you're almost surprised by the team and yourself the way you keep developing. So I think everything is close to me.
I think I'll ask one. I think maybe towards the end. Being a creative person, creative block is very real, right? To hit that block where you're not able to think. At that time, what you do?
See, I have realized something that, of course, the creative block. But whenever somebody gets related to a particular brand, they sort of have 1 year of ideas running. After that, it gets saturated.
Correct.
That's where I change their position. So that's how I run the show. So it gives me a new perspective when I have a new, say, art director per se. So if I have one art director for 1 year, I will change it to another one the next year. So that will keep giving them new and fresh ideas. And by the time I get the first one again back in the third year, they are again fresh with their thoughts.
with the ideas.
And that gives me also some newness to put, to give a take to the new shoots and the campaigns.
Ayush, would you want to suggest any book or movie which you think is relevant, which you feel uh, from a brand perspective, someone should watch or read?
So there's this novel which I'm reading currently. I feel it's extremely relevant. It's on Netflix, the founder of Netflix, and the book is called No Rules Rules.
Okay.
Essentially, the idea of that book is do fast, fail fast, but learn fast. आप उसका पूरा एसेंस ये है उस नॉवल का कि आप ट्राई तो करो और जल्दी ट्राई करो और जल्दी फेल हो जाओ, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. ऐसा कोई भी फाउंडर नहीं है जिसने 10 में से 8 चीजें सक्सेसफुली करी होगी.
True.
जो सबसे सक्सेसफुल फाउंडर्स भी हैं उनका भी 50-60% गलत शॉट लगा है.
Correct.
So I feel as young entrepreneurs, I feel it is extremely important that we try and we have to be at it. You need to stay in the hunt. So I feel that is one novel that I would definitely suggest to people.
Awesome. I think we'll close the conversation here. I think we had a great chat with you. A lot of learnings, a lot of insights. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing all the insights and about the brands and giving us those secret sauces in between your learnings. Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining on the podcast. This is Untold Stories by Jito Youth Jaipur.